After coronation, the first royal portrait of King Charles is now available for public display, and people are linking it to satanic worship. Aside from the blood red color of this portrait, there is a visible picture of Satan hiding in plain sight. When you flip and mirror the painting in any photo editing app, you can see a goat head in the painting. This goat head is called Baphomet, and it has been a symbol of satanic worship for years. Some people even say that the king looks like he's literally posed for it in hell. They describe this royal painting as bloody, hellish, a nightmare given life. But was this intentional? Did the painter really want to hide satanic visuals in it? Why did he choose red? And what does King Charles think about it? The artist Jonathan Yeo painted this portrait, and he is British. He's one of the world's most in-demand artists. Celebrities from all around the world pay him heavily to make their portraits, so it is very unlikely that he would paint King Charles red by mistake, or that he would not know about satanic symbolism in the portrait. After all, talented artists like him never do anything without purpose. Each brushstroke is calculated and measured. So why did he paint it red? What's the theme behind this, and was he forced by the British royalty to add satanic symbols in the portrait? In the portrait, King Charles is wearing the red military uniform of the Welsh Guards with his hands on his sword. The background is red as well, and it has no order. Surprisingly, a monarch butterfly hovers over the king's right shoulder. And this butterfly alone has brought millions of people to tears because it depicts the kindest woman in the world. Lady Diana. If you wanted to see my videos on Lady Diana, you can visit the link at the top right corner, but we'll get to it later. Let's focus on the red nature and satanic symbolism first. According to Yeo, the artist, it was his own choice to use red color for the portrait. He said that he wanted to take the focus away from the red military uniform of the king, so he made the whole painting red. And this sounds like a lame excuse. Any artist can tell you that the background should never match the subject's color. Again, according to Yeo, when he showed the half-done portrait to King Charles, the king was surprised, yet he smiled and approved the idea of red for his royal painting. But why? Millions of people are saying that this choice of red was a slap in the face of other nations that British rulers had colonized. Their rule is marked by the blood of colonized nations like China, Pakistan, India, Japan, to name a few, and the royals wanted them to remember it. So, this red was a taunt on the face of enslaved nations. But still, the joke is on the British royalty because people of these nations can now finally show what the British rule has always been about: bloodlust and satanic worship. As for the sidekick queen who replaced Lady Diana, the queen consort Camilla, when she first saw the portrait, she smiled in her creepy way as well. And it seems fair. It's not like there is any brain in her. She's always been a brainless woman. High offense intended. Even art critics are terrified of the portrait as well. In every religion, it is known that worshipping Satan destroys your peace. It keeps you haunted and instills a fear in your heart, and when you put satanic symbols on something, it gives bad vibes as well. You feel uneasy around objects that carry the mark of Satan. And the art critics who visited Buckingham Palace to see this portrait say that they were afraid of it. It made them feel small and terrified. According to them, the portrait had darkness even in the bright and well-lit display area. One of the critics, Robert Brinkerhoff, says that he never ever wants to see the portrait again. He teaches at the Rhode Island School of Design in Providence, and when the reporters and journalists from Today.com asked him to describe his experience, he said that I could see nothing but blood when I saw it. Robert also said that he kept hearing blood over and over in his head. He thought that he would go insane. Additionally, he said that it felt like the king would jump out of the painting and kill him in cold blood. The hands and mottled face of the king looked like claws and ghost face to him. And although the expression on King Charles' face is sad, Robert could feel no sorrow or empathy for the king. He says that the painting is monstrous, and he does not want to see it again. This opinion is shared by millions of people online. They say that the painting must be burned down to end the satanic presence. So, what's exactly the symbolism of this red color? According to many, it depicts the red of blood that is vital for satanic worship, and this makes sense because there is satanic symbolism in the painting itself. But people who prefer a more practical approach to art say that the red color reminded them of blood and violence. No surprise to anyone, the red was meant to symbolize the violence in the royal family's past. It can be the blood that has been shed as a result of British colonialism for centuries. Now, let's get back to the only pleasing detail about the portrait. a monarchy butterfly that is hovering over King Charles' shoulder. Why did the artist paint it, and how does it signify the presence of Lady Diana? When the BBC News asked Yeo why there is a butterfly in the portrait, he said it signifies the role of King Charles in recent years. By this, he meant that the butterfly is symbolism for change and rebirth. And because the king has worked for environmental causes, the butterfly is symbolism for the change that he has brought in this world. Yeo also said that when he started painting his portrait, the king was still a prince because the queen was still alive. The initial idea was to show this portrait for the 75th birthday of King Charles, so when he unexpectedly became the king, the butterfly represented his change from prince to king. Sounds lame, doesn't it? Well, for one thing, it was never Yeo's idea to add a butterfly in the painting. King Charles made him paint it in the portrait, and besides, if the butterfly represented the change or rebirth, it would be sitting on the shoulder of King Charles, not hovering over it. Yeo shared that Charles wanted the butterfly to be the symbol of his reign. But could it be that the real intention was something much more sinister? Throughout the history of royal art, paintings and portraits have been used as confessions by kings and queens. And people are saying that Charles is no different. Even though there is no concrete proof, everyone knows that Lady Diana died an unnatural death, that she was murdered no less. She was to be the ruling monarch of England, beautiful and innocent as a butterfly itself, but she never got the chance because a side chick that goes by the name of Camilla Homewrecker came in the way. Now if you think about it, the butterfly in the portrait is not just any ordinary butterfly, it is a monarch butterfly. A butterfly that is considered royalty and lives a very short and hard life. So, do you think this was Charles' way of confessing something? Or maybe he just wanted to taunt Lady Diana even in death? Forever adding her presence to his life, seeing her small and insignificant as an insect no matter how beautiful or royal in nature? Whatever the intention may be, there is no denying the fact that the butterfly is the only saving grace of this portrait. And in the red splatter of the painting, it looks alive and trapped like Lady Diana was in her wedding with King Charles. While the world cannot stop talking about the portrait of King Charles, he is silent himself, so is every other member of the royal family. The art critic Robert Brinkerhoff says that King Charles is no stranger to art. So it is possible that he is the mastermind who is pulling all the strings in his portrait. According to Robert, it is a pretty bold move from the king, and the reactions that are harsh are totally justifiable. The royal family is in bloody pursuit of power. King Charles is no different, and the portrait is capturing this very well. As far as the satanic symbols go, there is no denying the fact that they are present in the portrait. Yeo, the artist, says that he is laughing at all the conspiracies about the painting. He has no trouble that people are calling him Satanist and Illuminati worshipper. "I'm an artist," he says. "I make art that gets your attention." This response has enraged people because worshipping Satan is no joke. Art is something like a holy practice. The nature of art is to spread love and peace, to communicate feelings and connect hearts. The portrait of King Charles does the direct opposite. It is stirring hate online and scaring the critics who study it for review and remarks. It even disrespects the legacy of the late Lady Diana and traps her soul in a blood-filled portrait for centuries of people to see. Do you think this portrait is satanic on purpose, or that it is tainting the legacy of Lady Diana? Put your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to share this video with friends and family.